Hi Devina, nice to be here as always.
So today we are going to start our study of sutras number 28 and 29. And these sutras will be a continuation of what we've already covered in 26 and 27, which is all about understanding the meaning of Ishvara or God according to yoga, according to yogic philosophy. And also the word or the chant Om, which is of course connected with Ishvara, connected with the idea of creation. It's what Om embodies. It's a denotation actually of creation, right? So now we'll go a little bit deeper into understanding Om, because there's one aspect which is gaining the knowledge of what is Om and what is Ishvara, but then how do we incorporate Om into our lives? Right, so now we start to understand that a little bit deeper and how to practice Om basically as yogis according to yogic philosophy and traditions. So if we can please start with Sutra number 28 and understand what is it called and what does it mean exactly.
So the Sutra number 28 is saying Tat Japa Tat Artha Bhavanam. Tat Japa Tat Artha Bhavanam. There are few words. Tat means that, Japa means repetitions that we do, chantings. Tat Japa, that we should do Japa, repetition of it. Tat Artha, with its Artha. Artha means meaning. So meaning is very important. So not without meaning. So here Patanjali is saying do Japa, but with meaning of it, and Bhavanam. Bhavanam means by putting all attention, giving all feeling into it. Bhavanam, the word Bhavana means feeling.
Yes.
Our giving feeling to it means we don't only have to repeat it as a chanting in our mind, not only repeating it mechanically, but we have to also feel or meditate on the meaning of it.
Yes.
That is very important. So Patanjali is saying the practitioner should chant Om with proper meditation.
Right.
Now, this is very important in nowadays society where mantra chanting is becoming a big tradition again.
Yes.
Throughout the world, people are chanting mantras.
Yes.
So many times students comes to me and ask me what is important in mantra, the vibration of the mantra or the meaning of the mantra.
True. Yes.
Or what? Like how to chant the mantra.
Yes.
See, if you are just chanting a mantra without knowing its meaning, which is Patanjali saying artha. Artha means meaning of it.
Yes.
If you are just chanting the mantra, if you're just producing these sounds, vibrations, without knowing the meaning, then it is just an exercise of the physical body only.
Right.
I mean, physically, if you're chanting it, it will only give you good sleep.
Right.
Right. So which is also good, which is healthy. There is no harm of it. If you do this kind of practice, like you keep on chanting the mantra without knowing its meaning, you just keep on repeating the same words again and again and again, it will take you a state of, it will make you more like unconscious.
Right.
So you can sleep better through it. Many people try, those cannot sleep, those have insomnia, they try it, the japa again and again, and they find it easier to get sleep.
It's almost like hypnotized, no? You're hypnotizing yourself by
exactly. Quite right. It is a self-hypnotized practice. You hypnotize yourself. Quite right. It will not have any spiritual meaning.
Right.
It is not raising your awareness up.
Yes.
You're not becoming more aware about yourself. You are not learning something from the life, but simply you're becoming self-hypnotized and you're becoming isolated and you sleep, which is also fine. Actual mantra japa is with artha and bhavanam. The two words in the sutra, artha and bhavanam. Artha means meaning, bhavana means with feeling.
Yes.
Means we have to meditate on the feeling. So each time I'm repeating the word, I'm not repeating it mechanically only. I am putting my feeling into it.
Yeah.
And then by going into this practice of Om, repetition and the meaning of Om. Now let's go into it. What is the meaning of Om?
Yes.
The word Om, actually we are saying it word, it cannot be a word. We are saying it a sound, but it is not a sound. But to explain it, we have to use word.
Yes.
To apply it in our life, we have to say it a sound.
Right.
Actually, very simply, if you ask me what is Om, I would say a sound of silence or a representation of silence. Deep silence is Om. For an example, our consciousness, which is filled with the words and pictures which we talked in previous sutras.
Yes.
So our consciousness is filled with it. So
Yes.
our head is full of sounds. There is no silence in our head inside. And yoga is about ending of the thoughts, means control on the thoughts. When you get control on the thoughts, which is full of sound, there is a utter silence takes place in your head. That silence name is Om.
Okay. Right. So it's the final goal. That's the ultimate goal of what we are trying to achieve in our yogic practice.
Ultimate goal. Exactly. The truth is there. There was a Guru Nanak Deva, who was a founder of Sikh religion. He said, Ek Onkar Satnam.
Yes.
Ek Onkar Satnam means, Ek means the only one.
Yes.
Onkar means the Om. Satnam means the truth.
Right.
There is only one truth, that is Om, the silence.
Yes.
And if we go into the history of India, as I discussed previously also, like India have given birth to the three major religions, which is Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism.
Yes.
And if you go into study about them, if you see how they follow the spiritual path, they don't meet with each other. Like they are very different.
Right.
They have like completely different way of practicing and understanding belief and non-belief. Everything is very different. But with one point, they all three get agree. That is Om.
Yes. Right.
On Om, they get agree. Means
Yes.
if you study Jainism, there are mantras and everything start from the Om in Buddhism as well, and in Hinduism too.
Right.
So,
so the idea of chanting Om, which denotes silence, actually, it's a representation
right.
of silence. So the reason why we need to enter into this space, guide our consciousness into that space, is to what happens in that silence. Is it you mentioned something about the truth, like you find the truth there. So how can we understand that a little bit better? What happens in the space of silence?
Yeah, right. See, Devina, if we just look at a human life nowadays, everyday human life, day to day as we are living, it is very much fragmented and limited. Like we are limited with our thoughts,
Yes.
with our desires. Okay, today I'm waking up, I'll do this, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Until I sleep, I have very limited things to do.
Yes.
And in this unlimited universe, we are being very limited. And throughout the life, human live a life limited. And in these limitations, there are many different types of actions human is doing: spiritual action, political action, families, friends, enemies, businesses. Many different means fragments are there.
Yeah.
We are broken. But if you go into the root of all this way of living a life, like why we can't be whole, why we can't be just unlimited, why we can't understand this universe, because through this limited lifestyle, we can't understand what is limitless.
Yes.
Right? We can't understand it. Yes. So if I want to discover it, like what is a thing which is making me limited, what is a thing which is making me living life with fragments, that is my thought pattern.
Yes.
And what is my thought is sounds, so many words and sounds.
Right.
So if I want to become yogi, if I want to find out the truth which is limitless, I need to go beyond this sound.
Yes.
Right. And Om is that sound. Om is a representation of that sound which is beyond all the sounds. Where there is no sound, there is Om.
Okay.
There is that unlimited Ishvara, right?
Yes.
So Japa simply is not that cheap that only if you will repeat Om, Om, or any Omkar, Omkar, it is nothing gonna come, but you are gonna get a good sleep only through that. Main is Artha Bhavana, means by focusing on the meaning of it. Means focusing, meditating on silence is main.
Yes.
And now the question comes that how can I meditate on the silence? Sounds are everywhere, inside of my head, outside, right?
Yes.
This is a big philosophy. Here is a big philosophy is required. I mean, great understanding of require about it. Every single sound, the base of a sound is always a silence. Without silence, there is no sound. For an example, without light, there is no darkness.
Yes. Yes.
Or without darkness, there is no light.
Yes.
For an example, when I teach nowadays online classes on the whiteboard, so when I write on the whiteboard,
Yes.
I write with a black marker, the
Yes.
words. So for the students, words are important, which I'm writing on it.
Yes.
But without the empty board, without the whiteboard, black marker have no point,
Right.
right?
True. You
The
can't just
existence
write
doesn't exist without it.
You can't just write
Exactly.
in nothingness. You need that
Exactly. So,
word. Yeah.
right. So behind every word which is written on the board, there is an empty whiteboard
Yes.
behind it,
Yes.
which is a base.
Yes.
Similarly, behind every sound, there is a silence.
Yes. Yes.
Every sound is coming from the silence. So if I become completely meditative about all the sounds, I can become aware about the silence.
Yes.
And becoming aware about all the sounds, Om is, as we discussed in previous sutra, Om is that sound. So if I just chant Om, I'm becoming aware of all the sounds.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
If I will repeat it, if I will meditate on Om, that sound will take me towards no sound, which is silent. That is Om. So this is how this japa should be there. So the answer of the question that students ask me, what is important in chanting of the mantra, is the meaning of the mantra and the feeling towards the meaning and the words as well.
Yes.
All together. Then you create something out of the mantra.
Yes. You know, even myself, for example, maybe I'll be listening to something, maybe I'll go on to YouTube. It's an unlimited source of so much content, right. Music, chants, and you'll hear something that sounds really wonderful to you. Maybe it puts you in like a really peaceful state of mind. Could be, you know, like a spiritual song, could be a chanting, but you actually have no idea what it means. Like you don't even know which language it's in, but it still does put you in somewhat of a calmer state of mind, maybe a positive state
Right.
of mind, but you can't connect with the meaning. So that's just a very small part of the full effect, I guess, of the
very small part of it. I mean, it is just, you can see the upper layer of the full effect. Like if we are talking about going to depth inside the ocean, so just chanting through the words is like swimming on the upper layer of the water. It's like, so we can use the word superficial, which means the upper layer. So it becomes superficial practice.
Yes.
Just chanting it without knowing the meaning and meditating on the meaning.
And what if you were to chant it in your mind? You don't chant it out loud.
It works.
It doesn't have to be out loud. Yeah, you can chant it within.
It works, right? I mean, chanting is what? Chanting is just, see, to get the feeling about something, words are helpful in it, right? If I want to give you a feeling of, if you want to give me a feeling of peace or, calmness, so you remind me a person who is calm. You say, you remember that guy who was very peaceful and calm? Whenever I'm remembering it through these words, I'm feeling that peace. So
Yes.
Words are helpful to create imaginations, and through these imaginations, we generate feeling.
Yes.
But what if a person is just repeating words and his mind is busy, his imaginations are busy doing something else?
Yes.
Then there is no point of the practice, right?
No.
So practice should be with complete meaning of it,
Yes.
and with the feeling about it,
Yes.
and being very aware, being established into that feeling, and you continue. The continuity of that feeling is, we call it japa. Japa means continuity of that feeling. That is actually japa.
Right.
Otherwise, there is no japa.
Right.
Repeating Om again and again means accepting and giving attention to silence again and again. That is what actually. If it is difficult for you, then you can repeat that sound, which is Om. So how we can do this practice? Om, Om, Om. Like this, we can repeat it through our vocals and then inside the mind, and then we go to the meaning of it. we
Yes.
can establish a very good consciousness which can give me a feeling of limitlessness.
Yes.